Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Zuhrianto, and right now, Ilmi, Alfan, and I will do a presentation about clause types, asking, exclaiming, and directing. So right now we have clause types and speech acts, interrogatives and questions, exclamatives, imperatives and directions, and minor clause types. So the first one is clause types and speech acts. Okay, when we speak or write, we perform acts through words such as thanking and promising. These are speech acts. Speech acts are like making statements, asking questions, issuing commands, or uttering exclamations. While clause types are like declaratives, interrogatives, exclamatives, and imperatives. Let's see the example of the correlation between clause types and speech acts. So we have four kinds of clauses here. We have declarative, interrogatives, exclamative, and imperative. The first one is declarative. Declarative is a clause that used to make a statement. For example, you are smart, you are brave, and they are kind. So it's as simple as that, a statement. And then the next one is interrogatives, but we have two kinds of interrogatives here. The first one is yes or no interrogative. This clause is used to ask a question that requires a yes or no answer. For example, are you smart? So the answers could be yes I am or no I'm not. And then the next interrogative is this interrogative asks a question that requires an open answer. So open answer is like it provides information, not only yes or no. For example, how kind are they? So the answer could explain the kindness of the people, of the person. For example, they do a charity, they rescue cats, for example. That's interrogatives. And then let's move to exclamatives. So exclamative is a clause that used to make a statement, to make an exclamation. So exclamation is like a expression of something, like you are amazed, admired, sad, happy, or anything. But in this example, the clause is expressed an admiration. How brave you are, how kind they are, how smart you are. And then the next one is imperative. Imperative is a clause that used to issuing a directive. So it gives you a direction. It gives you a direction to do something. For example, to do something or be like something. Just the example. Look at the example. Be smart, be brave, be kind. It gives you a directive. That's the point. Okay, so right now we are going to talk about where the correlation fails. Correlation di sini adalah korelasi antara clause types dengan speech acts. Jika kita lihat contohnya, dikatakan bahwa the first example shows a directive that is not expressed by an imperative. Jadi contoh yang pertama menunjukkan directive yang mana seharusnya diekspresikan, ditunjukkan melalui klausa imperatif. Sedangkan contoh yang kedua menunjukkan imperatif yang tidak mengekspresikan directive. Disinilah letak fail correlation-nya. Klausa imperatif yang seharusnya digunakan untuk menunjukkan arahan, instructions, commands, or request. Namun di sini contoh yang pertama adalah bentuk request, namun tidak dalam bentuk imperatif, malah dalam bentuk closed interrogative. And then we have clause types in main and subordinate clauses. Di sini kita diperlihatkan contoh-contoh dari main clause dan subordinate clause. Yang saya pahami di sini adalah ketika clause types dibentuk dalam subordinate clause, maka clause types tersebut akan berubah menjadi deklaratif. Contohnya, contoh main clause yang kedua, was it a success? Klausa ini dalam bentuk clause interrogative, tapi ketika dalam bentuk subordinate clause ini menjadi deklaratif. She didn't say whether it was a success. Klausa ini bukan dalam bentuk pertanyaan lagi, tetapi dalam bentuk pernyataan. Dan itu berlaku untuk semua jenis klausa yang lain. A direction, I'm sorry. Okay, and then interrogatives and questions. So this clause is a clause that asks questions. We can see that in the explanation. Interrogative clauses most commonly function as questions. It's as simple as like that. And the usual word order is, you can see. And then this is the example. And also interrogatives and questions. I'm sorry, this clause has the terms open and closed question. Alright. Okay. So we have closed question here. Closed question or closed interrogatives, which means that the answer to that question only consists yes or no. Example, is he your friend? The answers only could be yes, yes he is, or no he isn't. But this clause have two kinds, that are polar and alternative. Right, so polar questions take yes or no answers, while alternate questions require an answer from the set options presented in the question. Polar questions can be presented with either positive or negative polarity. Example, do you want this? The answer could be yes I do or no I don't. And then the alternative is questions that contain elements linked by or, and the answer is expected to be identified with one of the elements. For example, does Jack want to move to America or stay here? The answer could be Jack wants to move to America, or Jack wants to stay here. And then the next is interrogative tags. So this is a special case of the closed interrogative that are appended to some clauses, and usually declarative clauses. For example, your father is a farmer, isn't he? So this clause is before the question, there are some informations, just like the example, your father is a farmer, is a information, a statement. So there are information and then the question, and the polarity of the tag is opposite to the polarity of the clause. So if the clause is positive, the tag will be negative, just like the example. The clause is positive, your father is a farmer, and then the tag is negative, isn't he? Or Mary is not smart, is negative clause, and then the question, the tag question is he? It is positive. Okay, now we're moving to open question. So open question or open interrogatives is a question that needs an answer that is not limited to yes or no. For example, where are the kids? The answer could be, I saw the kids were playing with their friends at the yard, right? And then we have WH word. So this is the words that are involved in open interrogative clauses. For example, who called the police? What are you doing? Of course, the answer are not yes or no. Okay, and then it is also possible to have more than one interrogative phrases in a clause. For example, how many days of extension did you give to which students? So this clause needs two informations. The first information is the number of days of the extension. And then the other information is the students that is given the extension. So the point is, it is possible to have more than one interrogative phrases in a clause if the clause needs more than one information. Okay, and then we have case. So case is a grammatical category for the inflection of nouns and pronouns that shows the relationship of those nouns and pronouns to other words in a sentence. So when it comes to open question, here we have the inflection of who. That are whom and whose. I'm sorry. These who, whom, and whose are severally nominative, accusative, and genitive forms of the pronoun who. Okay, let's see the genitive. No, let's see the nominative forms. Who wrote the paper? So nominative forms, basically it's about the subject. So the subject here, so the clauses is asking about the subject that is asked by the word who. And then we have accusative forms. This is the object. Whom did John meet in Paris? So whom shows the object. So this clause is asking the subject, the object. The original sentence is like, John meet who in Paris. So whom is the whom is showing the subject. And then we have genitive forms. Okay, genitive forms indicates ownership. of a noun. The example is whose car is this? So this clause is asking who is the owner of the car. Okay, and then we have replacement phrases. So questions with an open-ended set of answers derivable from the questions by replacing the interrogative phrases by appropriate non-interrogative ones, which we'll call replacement phrases. We can take a look at the example. Who called the police? Her father called the police. In this example, we can see that the answer is providing the information that is asked, and also it replaces the phrases of the questions. Who called the police? Her father is the information, and called the police is the replacement phrases of the questions. And then we have information questions and their direction. Information question is a statement straight to the point, while the direction question is like offering questions. So the example of information question is, did you go to the beach? Yes, I did. So the answer is a statement. And then another one, shall we go to the beach? Is an offering questions. And then the answer, yes, that's fine. It's directive. So the first one is a statement, and then the second one is a direction. The first answer, the answer of the first example is a statement, and then the second one is a direction. And then we have echo questions. Echo questions are used to express surprise or to seek information of the speaker's previous utterance. They mirror the form and content of the previous utterance. For example, in closed interrogative, Nana bought a lion. This is the stimulus. And then the question is, she bought a lion? That is in closed interrogative. And then in open interrogative, Nana bought a lion. And then the question is, she bought what? So the point is, the answer mirroring the form and the content of the previous utterance of the questions. And then we have an additional information that said, in this type of open interrogative, the interrogative phrase is never fronted. Yes, that's true. Nana or she bought what? It is not what did she bought or what did Nana bought, because it's not an echo question if the interrogative phrase is in the front. Okay, so next we have exclamatives that will be presented by Ilmi Alfan.
Okay, thank you, Zuhri. And now, with me, Ilmi Alfan here. I will explain a little about exclamative and imperative. The first is exclamative. Exclamative clauses are typically used to allow the speaker to express a heightened evaluation of situation. They are introduced by the forms what and how. The interrogative pronouns what and how allow the speaker to focus on specific constituents within the clause. For example, how beautiful she is and what an idiot you are. Jadi klausa exclamative di sini adalah sebuah klausa seru yang biasanya digunakan untuk mengekspresikan sesuatu yang lebih tinggi dari biasanya, dan pada penggunaannya biasa menggunakan menggunakan kata ganti what and how. Ya, seperti itu. Kemudian and then exclamation and exclamative explains how to form exclamation sentence containing imperative elements and exclamation sentence containing open interrogative. Jadi biasanya klausa exclamative mengandung klausa imperatif atau kalimat perintah atau klausa perintah, dan klausa interrogative tapi yang bersifat open interrogative. For example, get the hell out of here. What the hell are you doing? Yeah. And then what and how. What in exclamation clause, what function as adjectival in encodes information about quality or degree. With singular nouns, it is clear that what occurs as an external modifier because it appears before the determiner. And then with plural or non-count nouns, the determiner is not present. In this case, the exclamative and the interrogative phrases are similar, but the clause type can still be distinguished by the presence or lack of subject auxiliary inversion. As you can see in the example, singular, what a great dog is. What kind of guy is dog? And in plural, what cute little mice we caught. What cute little mice did we catch? Non-count, what ice cream we taste? What ice cream did we taste? And then how, the exclamative how function as an adverb. Again, exclamative and interrogative phrases may be similar, but the clauses will differ in terms of the behavior of the subject and auxiliary. For example, degree modifier in adjective phrase, how clean Andy's car is. How clean is Andy's car? Adjunct in clause, how Kai told you off. How did Kai told you off? And then move to imperative and directive. Imperative clause can generally be identified by omission of the second person subject. Verb in the plain form with restricted use of modal auxiliaries because the deontic status of the clause is indicated by the structure. Use of the auxiliary do with the verb be in negation. Jadi kalimat imperatif di sini dapat diidentifikasi dari 3 poin. Dari poin pertama, omission of the second person subject. Kemudian verbnya berbentuk plain form. Kemudian menggunakan auxiliary do with the verb be in negation. Okay. And then comparison of declarative and imperative. Comparison of declarative and first person imperative, as you can see on the table, it is a example between declarative and imperative. In declarative, you must eat this egg. In imperative, should be eat this egg because omission the second person, and then you are eating a lot. In imperative should be eat a lot. Use a plain form verb. Everyone eats eggs. In imperative should be eat eggs everyone, because the third person subject but still been from verb. And the interrogative, you are very cooperative. In imperative should be don't be very cooperative, because use auxiliary to with verb be in negation. And then first person imperative, second person subject are the norm in imperative, although it is possible to use third person from form such as everybody. First person plural imperatives are also possible, but they have a special form introduced by let's. The comparison, as you can see on the table, is example between difference between declarative and imperative. We eat a lot of eggs. Eggs in imperative should be let's a lot of eggs, using let's on the front clause. Yeah, like that. We are eating a lot. Let's a lot in imperative. And then declarative, we are very cooperative, and in imperative should be don't let's be very cooperative, or can be let's not be very cooperative. Uses of imperatives. The conventional use of imperative is to issue the directive. This commonly function as commands, but other specific types of speech acts may also be expressed by imperatives. And the table, as you can see, example: don't come to class late. Intended speech as order or command. Please turn off your mobile phone in class. It is intended speech art request. Prepare the exercise before the test. It is instruction, and any other you can see in the table.
Okay, the last is minor clause types. Tipe klausa ini berbeda dengan 5 tipe klausa yang telah kita pelajari sebelumnya. Perbedaannya dapat kita lihat di contoh. No pain, no gain. Kalimat ini tidak memiliki subjek maupun predikat, yang berarti kalimat ini adalah incomplete sentence, kalimat yang tidak selesai. Dan juga jika kita lihat speech act-nya pun tidak jelas. Jadi kesimpulannya, minor clause types adalah pengecualian terhadap 5 jenis klausa yang telah kita pelajari sebelumnya, dikarenakan ketidakjelasan speech act-nya maupun struktur kalimatnya. Dan tipe klausa ini adalah sebuah kalimat yang tidak selesai atau incomplete sentence, namun tetap memiliki arti.
Okay, I think it's enough from Zuhri and me about this presentation. Clause types: asking, exclaiming, and interrogating. Mohon maaf apabila ada kekurangannya. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.